Chapter 1. My name is Annie, and I was an ordinary 10-year-old girl until fate turned my world upside down. It all started when my family stopped by the local mall to buy my brother, Hunter, a new pair of shoes. On our way out, we passed by the pet store where a beautiful cat with silky light brown fur and snowy white spots caught my eye. "Mom, Dad, can we get that adorable cat?" I begged in my best please say yes voice, knowing the answer would undoubtedly be no. Mom, who likes cats, moseyed over and signaled to Dad. "No," Dad blurted with an annoyed though even asked look. Our last attempt at a pet resulted in a new couch, new curtains, and new carpet in the family room. Seeing Dad's reaction, Mom backed away, but I hurried to bolster my campaign. "Mom, can you please try to change Dad's mind?" I coaxed. "Hunter doesn't want to play with me anymore. I need a new buddy." Hunter's recent lack of interest in his little sister troubled my mother, and I used this to my advantage. Mom gave a little nod and whispered, "I'll try." She put on her most persuasive smile and ambled over to Dad. When Mom and Dad came back, Dad grumbled, "We'll try the cat out for the night, but I'm not making any promises." I leapt up and hugged him. He growled, "No promises, Annie." Mom flagged down Greg, a pet store employee, and asked, "May we try this cat out for the night?" "Sure, I hope you'll like her," exclaimed Greg in an overly excited tone. It almost seemed like he was eager to get rid of this cat. I wasn't sure why, but I was glad to take her. As soon as the cage door swung open, the cat bounded out and darted behind the dog food display. Greg scrambled after the cat, but returned winded and empty-handed. I piped up, "Come here, Snowy!" My family looked on in amazement as the cat scampered to me with sparkling eyes. "Why did you call her Snowy?" my mom inquired in disbelief. "I don't know, it just came out," I said, as confused as she was. The cat's unexpected obedience was a boost to my cause. My parents signed a few papers, and we headed home with her. "We don't need this cat, Stephanie. We have 2 kids, and Hunter needs to get his grades up. We just don't need another handful of trouble." "Please think about it, Rob," Mom bargained. "I really like her, and so will you. She adds sparkle to our family." "We are going to keep the cat," Dad announced at breakfast the next morning, obviously having lost the battle of wills with Mom. "Yay!" I squealed. Pouncing to seal the deal, I asked, "What are we going to name our new cat?" "Trouble," Dad pronounced. "We need to think of a real name," Mom scolded. "Her real name is Snowy," I asserted quietly. "What about Brianna?" Mom suggested. "When I called her, she came Snowy," I insisted. "She's trouble to me," Dad said, exasperated. Mom ended the negotiation by siding with me. The cat's name will be Snowy. The next day we went back to the pet store to pick out some toys. All the cats were whining. "What is going on?" I wondered aloud. Tom, a harried employee, was within earshot of my comment and walked over to us. "We don't know. They started last night about an hour before we closed and haven't stopped since. We are all baffled. My boss just called in a vet. Sorry about the ruckus." As I was trying to block out all the noise, an intriguing thought occurred to me. The store closed at 8 p.m. last night. An hour before closing would have been 7 p.m. That's the same time we left with Snowy. Was this just a coincidence? The next morning, Dad read the newspaper headlines aloud. "All cats around the world are getting sick." I was flabbergasted. How could that happen? Dad read on. "Starting 2 nights ago, cats were going crazy. They are whining and falling ill with deathly viruses. A local vet said this phenomenon defies explanation." "Incredible," Dad said as he got up. I was thinking the same and had a ton of questions, but we were already late to get out the door. On the way home from school that day, still reeling in amazement, I found a startling note on the sidewalk. "Don't trust your cat, Snowy. She is the source of the cat catastrophe in the news." I have never really solved or even thought about mysteries, but it looked like I had one right in front of me. Where would I start? Was Snowy involved? How? All this started when we got her at the pet store. I ran home thinking of nothing but my cat. When I arrived, Snowy was chasing a fly around the house. She looked normal. I mean, any other cat would do that, right? I didn't understand. Maybe I was just being paranoid. The TV suddenly flashed on by itself. It scared the daylights out of me. I looked around and saw Mom with the remote. Phew! Mom, you scared me half to death, I panted. Yes, dear. Please don't turn on the TV with the sound so loud. I was just going to turn it down, she chided. I hadn't even turned on the TV. This was too much. I went upstairs, pulled out a notebook, and began to write down my thoughts. Dear Notebook, lately odd things have been happening. 1. All cats around the world are whining and getting sick. 2. After school I found a note that said, Don't trust Snowy. She is the source of the cat catastrophe in the news. 3. The TV flashed on by itself, scaring me half to death. Are these events connected? During school the next day, I could not finish my math test because I kept seeing images of Snowy in my mind. I felt strangely like I was seeing through feline eyes. Your test, please? The teacher interrupted my thoughts. Oh no, I was not even close to being done, and the teacher wanted my paper now. I knew I was in for trouble with my parents. Dear Notebook, I thought I would get more info today, but I didn't. Also, I did not write a word on my math test because I was thinking of Snowy, so I'm grounded. As punishment, I have to clean the house and have no TV, no friends, and no computer for a whole week. All I did was, leave my math test completely blank. I guess that is pretty bad. I just can't stop thinking about Snowy and this mystery. The next day, after school, I was sitting in my room when words started appearing on my mirror as if someone were writing them. My first instinct was to bolt out of the room, but I had to see what they were going to say. Save yourself. Get rid of Snowy. The handwriting looked just like that from the note on the sidewalk. Why were these words now in my mirror? All of a sudden, a faceless black ghost was coming out of the mirror at me. I ripped open the door, sprinted out of my room, and flew down the stairs, barely touching the steps. I had been all alone at home, so now there I was, at a dead stop at the front door. My sweaty hand could not turn the knob. Then I remembered I had locked it after Mom left. The creature was getting closer and closer to me. I was done for.